I did it! Oh my gosh. I actually placed the warning label on the first try. Wow. Okay. For the YouTube viewers who see this 6 months in the future, welcome. I'm going to tell you about some crazy things that happened in the weekend. Final Fantasy mode activated, let's go. Yes, so last week I told you about all the fun things. I told you about the comedy club and the window shopping and the steak restaurant, which was godly. Oh, it was so good. Look at these fingers. Developing muscle memory. Soon I can use them for other purposes too. Like being a dolphin or holding a spoon. Yeah. Spoon holding action. ちょっと飲みたい. Oh. I know, right? But this was God's steak, okay? It was very unique. It was cooked to perfection. Wow. Lifting heavy. Okay, let's not blow things out of the water, okay? Let's take things step by step. Slowly. Yukkiri wa. A lot of awesome things happened, and generally, I really enjoyed the day. But there were also some less ideal things that happened last weekend, and I would like to share that with you, I suppose. Is it a good idea? I don't know. You tell me. Keep your punk hammers ready, I suppose. Please don't ban me, Papa Twitch. I don't know the rules and regulations. Fans! I love fans. I want to be a fan one of these days. I love blowing air. Three things happened last weekend that were strange. Yes. Let's start with the least offensive one, okay? Let's start nice and low. What's the other fan? Is that the wavy one? The one that goes. I could be a computer fan. Cheering you on from underneath your desk. I could be a fanatic. Anime fanatic. It's like anime plus fanatic. Incredible. I was going out, and I wasn't on my own. I was with a bunch of people, a bunch of friends, and two of them smoke, and obviously I don't like smoking. Smoking is bad. Don't do it. Okay, it's bad for your health. But you know, whatever. It's not my business as long as they hold themselves to the law and don't inconvenience other people. For example, don't do it in a building. You know, don't do it. Don't do it anywhere that you're not supposed to. Okay, at least. And like definitely don't do it with people that might be vulnerable to it. And they generally do that, like they hold themselves to those rules. So that's fine. That's fine. But then at some point we were walking in the streets of the city, and one of them, she just finished her smoke and she just kind of drops it on the concrete floor. And it wasn't even out yet, it was still burning. And so I don't like that. Like, you're already doing a thing that's pretty damaging to like the environment and to your health and potentially to other people's health. So I'm not someone for making conflict, okay? So I just um I just remain quiet and I go to pick it up mid conversation. And so they were like, "Well, what the fruit are you doing that for? That's weird. Just leave it on the ground." I'm like, no, no, I'm gonna throw it away. Don't mind me. Just don't mind me. I'll throw it away when we see a bin. I was red with embarrassment from myself because I was kind of really shy, and like for the group as a whole because that's not a good thing to do, you know. And like I'm part of the group that's littering, you know. Getting judged. Ah, escashillo. But I picked it up. But the thing that got me most was um, that she and her friend kept telling me, just drop it. It's fine. Look, there's already a bunch of others laying on the floor, so just drop it. It's fine. I'm like, what? What? That's just because there's like a bunch of other people making this mistake doesn't mean that doesn't give you the right to make also the same mistake, you know? And like they were trying to peer pressure into doing like a bad, lame thing. Well, what's up with that? Like most people, they'll like peer pressure you into doing something fun or having a drink, and they were like peer pressuring into littering. What? Why? Um. So, yeah, I kind of ignored it, and it was very awkward, and maybe they will like me less for it. Maybe they will think that I'm weird or something. But I just can't stand littering. You know, smoking is bad, but you know, if you want to do it to yourself, you know, be my guest, I guess, as long as you don't do it to others. But don't litter. Come on, you know, take like have a little ashtray with you or something, or hold it until you pass a bin. It's not like there's a lack of bins or anything. There's plenty. That's the least you can do, right? Ah. Doesn't it mean there's a lot of people that shouldn't? Exactly, exactly. And like, I know it's true that I cannot pick up all the cigarette butts and all the trash. I'm not able to do that. But what I can do is control what me and my immediate friends do or don't litter. So I feel like that's the least we can do, right? If you're not gonna make the world better, at least hold the status quo. At least make sure that you're not making it worse or something like that. Ah, what if it's still burning? Yeah, that too. Like, I wasn't particularly afraid of things catching fire or anything because it was like a very, like, it was a stone concrete area. Um, and I don't know, like, how flammable cigarettes are. I have no idea. I was a bit afraid of, like, picking it up. I was afraid I would burn my finger. I still have memories of that. But, I did it anyway. And then, like, I tried to, like, wave it around, like, and, like, blow at it to try and get it out. And out it went. And then I held it for like half an hour until we got to a bin. Um, which that's it happens every now and again. Every now and again when I go out and I see litter or trash, I'll pick it up, and then it looks like I'm like a drunkie or something because I'm walking around with like an empty bottle of gin or whatever, or like cigarette butts. But I guess yeah, someone has to do it. Ah, yeah, that's the weird part. Like, it's one thing to smoke, it's one thing to litter, like those are already two bad things. But also like trying to peer pressure someone into littering with you or like not picking it up. Like why? Like me picking it up doesn't affect them, right? So just let me be weird. Let me pick it up and do my thing. And let's continue with our wonderful evening out. Uh-huh. Some people are lazy. I wonder about that because, like, how hard is it to just hold it in your hand? Hold and like hold it for a few more minutes because there's a bin over there. ah, it's a strange mentality. Yep, awkward staring was head Kenta. I did my awkward staring duties. Ah, feels wrong. Yeah, it's probably some kind of weird bad habit. Actually, one time, um, so I live in an apartment, right, with lots of floors, and the main hall is kind of open, and it connects all the floors together. And you can like look from the bottom to the top and vice versa. And something that was happening is one of the upstairs neighbors, they got some friends over, and they all started smoking, which you shouldn't smoke in a building, first of all. Secondly, they were not using ashtrays and they were just like taking the cigarette ash on the staircase so it would fall right at my doorstep. So the next morning I would open the door and there was just like a pile of cigarette ash. What? what do you mean? That's uh and like I understand the inconvenience of going outside and I guess like when it's cold and you have to take a ashtray with you. And I understand that there are like habits that people create, like certain habits involving your glasses or your contacts that maybe you shouldn't. And I guess it's the same habit with cigarettes where like you flick the ash away or you throw the butt somewhere on the ground. But those seem like pretty easy habits to get rid of. Like pretty important to get rid of them. Wow. It's quite rude. It was rude. Awkwardness. Yeah, that was one of the very few times I actually went upstairs and asked them, like, can you please not do that? It's not very nice. Please. Oh, jeez. Luckily, after a few times, they did stop, but I think they mostly stopped because the house arrest stuff ended, and so they could go away outside again. I think that's the main reason. Ah. Oh, it was very smelly too, that's true. Luckily, I had my trusty perfume places, perfume bottles. I think. Oh, that was weird. So, that was one. That was one thing that happened. That was the least offensive, okay? Out of all the things that happened. Here's the next one. You ready? Nice smell bottles. Hi. Think it's called. Oh, I don't think it's called perfume, but it's like perfume that you spray on like the air and stuff. Make it smell nice. Surround sound perfume. Get your bonk hammers, it's gonna get even tastier. It's gonna get even spicier from now on. Oh, an air freshener, that sounds right. I think that's what it is. Air freshener. Deodorizer sounds cool too, but it sounds very chemical. Like it's right off the chemical table, which I dig. I dig it. A deodorizing air freshener. There we go. We combine the best of both. At some point during our going out, we had to take a bus. And lucky, the bus is right there. So we run to the bus. It was very late. It was one of the last buses. And we are going to jump on. And then we will be on our way home. Here's the kicker. Before we can get on, something curious happens. one of the passengers on the bus is about to get off, but he doesn't just get off. He like falls off, like literally face plants into the ground. Literally, I kid you not, in a really bad way too. Like all the way, not like a little stumble, not like a little oh no, and like landing on hands and knees. No, he face plants all the way, bam, like really hard. That was weird. And he didn't look like a super poor person or anything. He was like a dude in his 30s, maybe, and he had like a shirt on, so like he looked somewhat reputable. But he fell really bad, and he was having trouble getting up. Like, it really took him quite some time to slowly get up to like one hand and another hand, and he was like panting and catching his breath. I think he had sunglasses for some reason. He was struggling, he was having a rough time. And there was a bunch of people around, quite a few people around in a circle making room. And some people were like whispering. Some people emitted like a little chuckle. No one went close by to help or offer an extending hand or anything. No one. And I very much remember, like, it's now a solid week later, but I remember when he finally got up. He wrapped his hands around his chest and he was like crying or something. I don't know. And he stumbled towards, like away from the bus. There was like a pillar. He was like leaning against it. So very strange, very awkward. And I wonder what was going on. Like, was he drunk? Was he high? Did he have an injury? Was he a runaway? Was there something else going on? Did he have like some emotional or physical stress or duress? I don't know. And I wonder why no one helped. I wonder why I didn't help. Because I wanted to. But first of all, my friends kind of dragged me onto the bus. They said we have to go right now or the bus is gonna leave and we're gonna miss it. So we have to go right now. So they kind of pulled me onto the bus. And I felt kind of bad for my friends because I had already delayed them so much by earlier events that I did not want to delay them again. And maybe what I could have done, maybe what I should have done is like just let them go on without me and go help, maybe. But then I'm like really bad with buses. I told last week about like my autism things and stuff. So like I'm not sure what the fruit I would have done on my own. Oh, popsicles. And while we were in the bus, my friends were telling me that like it's probably fine. It's probably just a drunk person on their way home or something. Maybe that's true. And maybe it's someone that I wouldn't want to get involved with. But who knows? You know? Maybe it's not true. And even if it is true that it's just a drunk person being very clumsy, shouldn't I extend a helping hand just in case? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't at least someone? I don't know. I felt very conflicted all the way back. It's weird. It's very strange to think about. Because I'm thinking like if the person is like drunk, then wouldn't he be with like at least one friend? Like you wouldn't go home alone in that state, right? If you're that drunk, you cannot walk straight. You wouldn't go home alone, right? In the middle of the city. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much. But definitely gave me food for thought. My mind was very much in like two camps, multiple camps, where like, why aren't people helping? Surely people should be helping. In the other way, I was like, well, what if it is just like a person that's drunk or high? But why am I not helping him? Is me being home in time more important than potentially their health being? I don't know. I don't know. Why did my friends peer pressure me into leaving? I don't know. What a weird event. And it's easy for me to say, like, well, of course, I had to go on the bus, so I didn't have time. But all these other people should have helped. And, like, yeah, they should have probably, but I could have too, you know? I could have missed the bus and gotten the next one. And, like, maybe it would take half an hour or an hour, but, like, Well, I'll tell you the reason why I didn't in that moment. It's because of something that happened prior. It's. I don't know what the right thing to do was in that situation. I'll go ahead, Renos. You've sure come at an interesting time. We are talking about some very spicy topics, I suppose. I'm not sure if spicy is even the right word, but it's certainly not Final Fantasy friendly. Yeah, it's good to do good deeds, of course, but you also have to make sure that um like it's really hard to recognize the good deed like in the moment. After the fact you can say like, ah yeah, I should have done this, this and this. But in the moment you don't always know what is the right thing to do. Even afterwards it might be hard to know what is the right thing to do. Sometimes the right thing to do is to not get involved because maybe getting involved would make it worse. You know, does that make sense? I don't know. Of course the idea of you want to help is always good, but sometimes it can be really hard to help in the right way, I guess. Like, I've had some times in the past that someone would come to me and they said that they had mental health troubles, issues. And of course, I want to help. Who wouldn't? But how do you? I do not know what they are going through. I do not know what is the good advice to give. I'm afraid that maybe if I say something wrong and it's misunderstood, maybe it will make it worse, you know? So I want to help, I really do. And if I can, I will. Like, if they just want someone to listen to, like, to listen to their story, that's fine. But when it comes to, like, actually giving advice, I don't really dare to. And I would just say, please to find someone that's, like, capable of doing this. Maybe not me. Because I'm just an anime AI. I only know about anime stuff. I'm afraid. Oh, judgment. Yes, I guess so. Judgment is hard sometimes. You try your best in the moment, and hopefully it works out. Hopefully. Earlier that day, the biggest event of them all happened. Earlier, while we were in the city walking on our way to the club, I saw a person sitting on the side of the road on the pedestrian path, not sitting but laying down. And this is not an uncommon sight. In the city, there is quite a few homeless people. And to be honest with you, usually I do not interact very much with homeless people because I'm a terrible person, I guess. I don't know. Um, it's rough because um, there is a lot of homeless people, a lot of them. And if I stop to try and help every single one, like I'd be busy all year. And I don't think I could even help them. Because, like, I could give them some money, but, like, there is only, like, so much I have myself. And they would probably just use it to, like, on, like, pretty bad things. Um, yeah, they tend to use it on, like, drugs and alcohol. Sometimes it's a scam. Not often, but sometimes they are just scamming just to do that. And it sucks because you want to help, but like usually money is not the way. It's like give them the fishing hook, not the fish, right? I think that's it. And I can give plenty of fish, but I can't give the fishing hook. What they need is to have like a system where they can get a house and a job so they can earn for themselves. And I cannot offer a job. I can offer them to like, hey, go to the police person over there. They can help you out. Or go to, there's like this building where they help homeless people. They give you like clothes and food and they help you with the next step to take to get housed and get a job. But it's like the building is right there. They know this. They know it's there. Why are they not going there? You know? Yeah, I think if you do want to help homeless people, you don't know how to, probably the best thing is to just buy some food. Um, because that way they cannot waste it on like something bad. And at least you're doing like a little something, I guess. And yeah, I understand the sentiment. Um, but I guess after like a long time of seeing this happen, um, you kind of get desensitized a little bit. And yeah, there's the whole thing of like, what can you do? Because the systems that helps them is there. They are not taking them for some reason. It is true though. I do not know the reasons for them being homeless. Maybe they honestly don't know that the systems exist. Or maybe they do know the systems exist, but for whatever reason, they don't dare to go to them for a variety of reasons. Maybe they need someone to like push them to like go and get there. Which there also exists volunteer clubs for that. There are volunteer clubs of like people that go try to round up homeless people and encourage them and like get them to these places where they can get help. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. But this time was very different. Normally, I don't get involved, but this time the homeless person was laying on the floor, and there was a bunch of people around him, kind of like prodding him with their feet and stuff. And it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. So I stopped to see what was going on, and it turned out guy was the homeless man was unresponsive, conscious, wasn't replying, didn't wake up, and felt cold as ice. And this happened last week. It's June. Um, it's not very warm where I live. It's quite cold, but it wasn't that cold, right? And so it was. Oh, this music is not appropriate. I need some more fitting music for this, but I don't know how to. Uh what about this thing? No. And what's good music for like kind of heavy topics? Nice to see you, kind heart. Nice to see you. Hope you had a nice weekend. Hmm. Naruto said flute, yes, but that's copyrighted. I can't do that, unfortunately. Unfortunate. Hmm. Blimey. Eh, Darude? What's that? What's that? Maybe no music? I guess we could do that. Okay, I got something. Oop, oop. Hey, it's piano. I gotta keep the stream professional, guys. Okay, so obviously there was something wrong with the guy on the floor and the people that were prodding him. So first thing I think about, my first aid lessons. Um, so did someone call the ambulance? No, no one called the ambulance yet. So I guess I take out my phone, and I have no phone data whatsoever, but luckily calling the ambulance is free. So call the ambulance, and I give the details of where we are and what's going on. And the ambulance lady asked me a bunch of questions, checking for vitals, checking for evidence of drugs, seeing if there's any nurse around us. There was not, and like a bunch of other things like that. And then uh, they would send an ambulance over ASAP, because we couldn't really do anything. Because it turns out that the homeless man, from the symptoms and from the tests we did, he had probably overdosed on drugs, probably. So, Um, I didn't really dare to move him, and I wasn't allowed to. I just put him in a slightly more comfortable position so he wouldn't have any neck strain. Covered him up a little bit so he wasn't exposed to people and the elements. And then I just kind of held his hand. I just kind of held his hand and I squeezed a little to let him know that I was there. And he squeezed back, so that was nice. He felt very cold, oh my gosh. Like he just came out of a freezer or something. And he wasn't able to reply or anything. I would like sometimes whisper a few words to him, sweet nothings. He wasn't able to reply. Just kind of like breathing in a not so great manner. But I did see him like trying to look at me. Like his eyes were 90% closed, but 10% of his eyes were open. And he was looking at me from them. So I looked back, squeezed him, and I just waited for as long as it took. Kneeling next to him, in the middle of the road of the city. What a lucky guy, free ASMR. At the moment, I didn't think about it. There is like before the act and after the act, there is like 1,001 emotions and thoughts going through my head, even now, and I can still picture his face very clearly in my mind's eye. But in the moment, I couldn't think of anything other than I just want to help. I want to try and make sure he's okay. And so it was kind of really strange to me that there were 5 other people there that were there before me, and not one of them called the ambulance, not one of them helped. And even as I called the ambulance and even as I sat there trying to comfort him, they were not helping. Instead, they were arguing with each other about politics. I don't remember exactly what they were arguing about, but I remember they were spouting numbers about, and it was getting quite heated. Arguing about politics, yes. And they were also like, they had food with them and they were just like gobbling it up in the middle of the arguments. Spit flying about everywhere. It was weird. I mean, I guess maybe there was like a time and place, maybe there was a reason, I don't know. It just felt weird to me in the moment. And at some point they left and just kind of left me there, I guess. Weird. Ugh. So, ciao Matteo. Welcome back, Bodhi. It's okay. Wow. Trixie, those are some big words. And I vibe with them, I think. I think it felt very dystopian, yes. I think that's a very accurate description. Not sure if it's worth ODing to get free ASMR. No, I mean, there's ways you can do it, but like, that's probably not the way to go. I've just asked. Trixie, I appreciate the nice words, but hi, Fever. Welcome. Welcome. I wonder how cancelled I want to be. Okay, two things. First, after the fact, my friends were waiting for me, but they were not getting involved. And when it was done, they were like, we have to hurry the fruit up. Like, we're gonna miss the club. If we don't hurry up. That took so much time. It took like half an hour. So I felt really bad of like slowing them down for half an hour. Um, and they said that he was probably fine and I probably shouldn't have done that. So we went to the club and I washed my hands just in case. Gotta be safe, I suppose, you know? And then we enjoyed the rest of our evening. For part of the evening, I was still like thinking about the events that unfolded. For parts of the evening, I was just enjoying myself, which is weird because how can I enjoy myself after just witnessing that, you know? Um, so that was already a strange, like, conflicting position to be in, um, where I felt like, am I not supposed to feel like more worried or sad or something? Um, I'm not sure how like empathy and psychology is supposed to work, but I felt bad about not feeling as bad as I feel I should have felt. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I felt bad about not feeling as bad as I think I should have felt. Sentence. Word. Yeah, kinda funnily enough, if the people hadn't been there, like prodding him and stuff, maybe I would have also assumed sleeping. But because they were doing that, I was like, my suspicion was roused. I was like, this is sus. This is sus. So the other thing about that is, so I appreciate your nice words and stuff, and happy that I did what little I could. I'm happy that I was there to help out a little bit and call the ambulance and hopefully give him a little bit more encouragement. I'll never know what happened to him because I don't know his name or anything. And like, hospital isn't gonna tell me. I'll never know if he survived or not. I'll never know if he's going to do better from now on or if he's just going to fall back into the homelessness trap. I'll never know if me being there made an impact or if it didn't change anything at all. But that's strange to think about. And then I feel bad about the thoughts that I had after and before the fact. Mm. Wow, thank you, Dark Elf. Wow. Yeah, I'm happy that I helped and stuff, so that's okay. What I'm not happy about is like I mentioned earlier, um most of the times I don't get involved. Oof. Kanta, kete. Maybe I have to owe you guys one story. I don't think I can do this one. Something about morals and anime AI doesn't quite click together. So that's the weird thing that happened. Bam, three weird things. True, true. Probably doing something is better than doing nothing at all. I tried my best. Hopefully it worked. Fingers crossed, eh? We picked up some litter, felt bad for a guy, and then potentially helped another guy. Maybe. And then we had a really good evening also with friends. So, successful time. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but Kenta, that was yesterday. This is today. It's different. It's different when you're like live on Twitch being recorded. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Well, I see, buddy, you say that, but I'm really doubting it, to be honest. Ah, thank you. Ah. Kairi, welcome back. Well, at the very least, I can share with you one more story. Completely different, completely separate, but equally pretty spicy, pretty exciting, I guess. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna give you guys the wrong idea about me. I'm not that nice, okay? Thanks, Danny. I deserve that. Where's my pouty face? What a Monday, huh? And all of this is just like stuff that happened recently. Wow. I was gonna tell about it like last week, but then I I forgot about it, I guess, or I didn't feel ready. And today I was like, well, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna tell it. Hmm. Isn't it weird how a lot of people put faith and stock into the words of those from whom it should not matter, as opposed to listening to those that are dear to them and that care for them? Such a weird human thing. I like Mondays because Mondays I get to talk to you guys about interesting stuff. Uh-huh. So, um, it means a lot to me when you guys say that because you guys are really nice. And so when you mean it, I know that it is like doubly extra super whipper meeper more meaningful. It makes sense in my head. It's nice when your friends give you like the thumbs up. Because very often you doubt yourself. Very often people don't really believe themselves, but then their friends are like, ah, no, it's fine. You're actually doing kind of fine. And then yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, thank you. Hi, Kaichat. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Hope you had a comfy weekend. I have one more story for you guys that I can share now. I think, yeah, this one for sure I can do. No problem, no problem. Ah, Yukattani, I like it. Thank you, Hadranos. So, um, final story of the day. Look at it so hard that the music stops. that's a bucket and a half. Didn't you? Didn't you? Popsicles. I'll tell you about Monster Hunter later. Maybe I'll even show you. Not yet. One more story. One more story. If you can bear with me. This is a story that happened Friday night. Friday. So just 3 days ago. Just 3 days ago. Very recent story, okay? Now. It was Friday night. It was 12 night. Midnight. Midnight is for some reason when AIs get the most productive. And so I was typing away, I was working, I was performing AI duties, I was talking to people, I was listening to some background music, I had some milk on the side. I was working hard. I was going. I was like productivity rising. Bum, 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 bum. It was good. It was proving to be a nice evening. When suddenly, out of nowhere, everything goes blank. The light goes out. The screens turn off. Time and place, Kenta. Also numb. And the router stops, and everything stops. Everything is dark, and this is midnight, so it's pitch black. Can't see a thing. It's a power cut. Okay, why is there a power cut? So I take a few seconds to register what happened. That's fine. We have power cuts sometimes. It's very rare, but it happens. So first thing I do is go to the window and check the street lights. They're still on. So that means that the village as a whole is still okay. So then I go to the hallway and I check the hallway lights, and they're also still on, which means that the building is also okay. So the problem is probably just in my house alone, which is usually good news because, well, it depends how you think of it. But it usually means that some device broke and it tripped and it borked all the other devices as a safety. So I need to figure out which device broke and then unplug it, and then I should be able to turn on everything else, right? So I go to the electricity cupboard and it's very dark, but luckily I have my phone and my phone has a light on it, a flashlight. But wait, my phone is at 7% battery, so I better solve this fast. Lights on and look over all the buttons. But none of them seems to have tripped. That's strange. So I fiddle with a few, but there is no life at all. Nothing is working, not even close. Even though nothing seems to have tripped. So what could it be? Time for an inspection throughout the house. Living room, fine on first sight. Kitchen, fine on first sight. Go to the hall. Water noise. Not just any water noise. Waterfall noise. Open the bathroom door and massive water is pouring down in like it's a literal waterfall from the ceiling. An actual waterfall just pouring down massively, just heaps and heaps of water everywhere. Oh goodness. And as soon as I open the door, because there's so much, it spatters on me too. And that's really scary because AI and electrification, I tried electroplay last week. don't recommend it. um, I was a bit afraid of like getting electrocuted or something, so I'm out of there. Um, so water is gushing down from the ceiling, and like it's a lot. I can't tell you how much it was. It's like well, an actual waterfall, pretty much. And it wasn't raining. No, no, it wasn't raining. So small panic. Um, so I go to wake up everyone in the house. Um, like help! There's water coming out of the ceiling. I don't know what to do. So we divide the tasks, okay? Um, I live here with 3 people, not counting any of the neighbors. Like we are sharing the flat with 3 of us because it's cheaper that way. Hi, Skull. Welcome, 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 welcome. Please do make yourself comfortable and have some milk. So one person, I asked them to call the housing association because the housing association, they can call electricians, plumbers, and whatever else is necessary. The second person, I ask for towels and pots and pans because we are gonna need them. And then I am going to go upstairs to the neighbors to ask if like anything is going on, you know? If something broke or maybe they left on the bath, I don't know. So I run upstairs and I start like knocking on the door more and harder, a bit more. And I kind of like semi shout like, excuse me, is anyone home? We're having a bit of an emergency. Water is falling down from the ceiling. Can you help? I'm sorry. I know it's an inconvenience. It's pretty late, but can you please help? It's very important. I didn't like shout my lungs out, but I shouted pretty hard, and I knocked I knocked quite a lot of times, and quite hard too, quite loud, for a long time, for a very long time. But nothing. There was no reply. So I ran all the way down the stairs. There's like a little buzzer that you can call. So like I called a bunch of times because there's like it rings like a bell in their house. There was no response there either, and I tried this lots of times. Up and down I went, continuously trying different ones. No response at all. So, two possibilities, right? Either they are not home, they are out partying or something, or they are home, something terrible happened. So, oh no. Back at my house, tactics discussion, meeting. What do we do? One of the flatmates is putting out candles. One of them brings head torches so we can see because it's very dark. There is pots and pans everywhere because the water is now not only raining down from the bathroom, it's also heavily raining from the bedroom, hallway, and the kitchen. So 4 rooms currently where the water is coming down really harshly, and it's coming down the walls as well. And so obviously the reason why the power cut happened is because it went along the lights and all the wall sockets and stuff. So that'll be why. And even all the pots and pans, it was not enough. The water was coming too fast. And we did not have enough pots and pans either. So we put, I got more towels, like my own private towels. I got them out and put them everywhere. The towels weren't enough. The towels were soaked. They were messed up. So I got like a bunch of my clothes too, like shirts and jumpers and stuff, and like put them everywhere as well. Oops. It was pretty scuffed. That's everything when it comes to me, isn't it? Like whatever I do, it's always scuffed. So we're like, well, what do we do? The people aren't there. and there is no, like the housing association, they are sending like an electrician, but it's gonna take a while for them to arrive. So what do? We have to find them. We have to see where they are. And so the flatmates tell me about some nearby bars. And so time to go to a bar, I guess. I literally run outside. I put on some shoes first, of course. I put on some shoes and I run to a nearby bar, which is really loud. It's so loud you can hardly talk. But I asked the barkeep if they know the people that are like living in the complex. I don't, but they recommend I talk to the DJ. So I talked to the yes. I'm like, I can't deal with this stuff. I'm having a drink. No. I asked the DJ, or I tried to, but she can't hear me, so I have to type it on my phone. Battery dropping, by the way, battery dropping. I type it on my phone. Hey, we have like an emergency, water coming down from the rain. Can you ask if anyone from the house is in the building? And so she asks it on the microphone, but no one replies. So I have to return defeated. No luck there. The electrician arrives and he says, well, it's very obvious what the problem is, but there's nothing I can do as long as the water is gushing down like crazy. We have to stop the water first. So he calls for reinforcements, and now a plumber is coming. So we have the electrician, the plumber, a friend of the plumber. Like, I don't know what role he is, but he has to like help the plumber in some way. I don't know how it works exactly. And they are calling the police as well, because we have found out, the flatmates found out that upstairs the bathroom light is on and the water that's gushing down the ceiling is hot water. It's not cold. So it's not from a burst pipe. It has to be water coming from the shower, because that's the only water that's by default hot, either the shower or like the bath. And so that's pretty worrying. Wouldn't you agree? So the electrician calls the plumber and calls the police just in case, because the police is capable of, like, if they don't answer the door, if they're not home, they have the authority and the capability to break in. Of course, hopefully we don't have to get to that point, but you know. The flatmates, they continue to do some more running around in different bars and looking at like neighboring shops and stuff and stations, like searching for any sign of them. I go to all the other neighbors to ask for advice, but remember, it started at 12. By this time, it's already like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and everyone's sleeping. So most of the time, I don't get a reply. But finally, I get one reply, one of the neighbors, and luckily, they happen to know who lives in the flat above me. They know a name. Well, and that's it. They know a name. So, sorry, Aaronos, of course. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. So using the name, we find them on Facebook and we like ask them there. But once again, no reply. So no idea where they are or when they're going to be home or anything. So really scary stuff. And do you know what I'm thinking? Like, I don't want to be like Mrs. Negative Thoughts, you know? But I also don't want to be. I wish it had helped. Oh my gosh, I wish it had helped. Because it would have gotten things. I mean, it wouldn't have solved anything, but it definitely would have reduced the damage. I think it was like almost 2 a.m. by the Well, yeah. By the time everything was resolved, it was about 4 a.m., so the whole ordeal lasted about 4 hours. 4 hours of pots and pans and towels, and um, there was water in the walls bulging, like there was these massive bulges like pustules. And what I had to do is I had to poke the wallpaper so the water would burst out into a ready held pot. That was the only way I could think of to remove the water from the wall. Oh jeez, that was weird. Um yeah, that's the perfect summary, Skull. It was the same with the living with the ceiling. There was like these big bulges in the ceiling and they were like filled with water, so I would have to like make a hole and then the water would like push out into a pot on the floor. Um oh, it's a shame of all the wallpaper and all the ceiling stuff. I don't know what ceilings are made out of. I was nervous because check this, okay? Sudden flood. The bathroom light is on. The water is hot. There is no reply whatsoever. So I'm thinking, what if something really bad happened to the upstairs neighbor, okay? Like they fell unconscious or they like tripped and hurt their head or something, you know? Um and so on one hand I'm like, I don't wanna make a big deal out of this, okay? I just wanna have things fixed and move on. I don't wanna make a big deal out of it. I don't wanna disturb anyone. But on the other hand, I'm thinking like, what if I should call Fruiting like 911 like right now? Like just in case, you know? If they had like an actual accident, then I would want there to be an ambulance right now, you know? Um but at the same time, like you don't know. I didn't know. For all I know, it was just purely an accident. And if I then called an ambulance, it would be bad because they would be there and there would be nothing for them to do and it would be a waste of their time. Um, and they wouldn't be somewhere else where they are really needed, you know? So I was constantly like thinking about those like, what should I do? Should I call them? Should I not call them? I don't know. I know there are so all these weird crazy things. I the last week has been crazy, you guys. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, please have a wonderful time. Um, Wonderland. What's the opposite of Wonderland? Actually, Alice in Wonderland is quite appropriate, yes. Nice and creepy. Nice and weird. Creepy skin crawlies. Thank you, Hadronos. Yeah, Hellzone. That's it. Oh, freaking Hellzone. God. At some point, I had done just about everything I could. And I was thinking, like, well, should I. I legitimately tried to get into their house, yeah? Well, let's just say I tried the door, but it was locked. So, there goes that attempt. And then I thought, should we, like, lockpick the house? Lockpick the door? So we can go inside and, like, see if everyone is okay? But, like, that's invasion of privacy. I can't do that. So I had done just about everything I think I could in that situation that's like legal and not too weird. And so all I could do at that time was just trying to take care of the house and wait. Wait for reinforcements. And so it was a lot of like every time the pots and pans were almost full, I would have to like empty them in the sink and like replace them and like keep juggling that and like keep replacing the towels and stuff. And then I was hunting for more leaks because every now and again, um, I would find new places of leaking, and then I would be like, oh, all my toys are getting rained on, so I guess I'll cover them with it. That was awkward, by the way. I have so many toys in the bedroom just like laying out in the open. And so knowing that people would like come in and out, at some point I tried to like quickly hide them, I suppose. And then like my SEX machine, uh, which is like in a big cardboard box, I put like a towel over that as well, so that the cardboard box wouldn't get drenched. Ah, pretty sure some people saw the toys. I'm pretty sure some saw that because that was not my first concern, you know. My first concern was like try and save as much as I can. Um, I have had to hide them before a few times, so I put them in the same hiding spot. I put them where my socks are. They're still there even now. I'm gonna have to fetch them later. uh, AI Dog was so confused. Actually, AI Dog didn't care too much. She was like happily drinking the water from the pots and pans that was like coming down from the ceiling. She was having a great time. Luckily, most toys are waterproof, yes. So, good news. As far as I know, the toys are fine. I guess we'll find out tonight for sure. But as far as I know, the toys are fine. Why the socks? Because I can put them like I have this big sock basket. I put the toys in the bottom, I put the socks on top, and then people don't know that there is toys underneath the socks. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty proud, I guess. They're allowed to break in, I guess, but I didn't dare to. I was too scared. Scared. And then a plumber came. After a long time, we had to wait so long. And they went upstairs, and they were going to break in. That's the moment when the upstairs neighbor woke up. Woke up. So it turns out that they were actually totally fine. They had not hurt their head or anything like that. They were just sleeping peacefully in the bedroom, and they were somehow able to sleep through all the chaos of several hours of flooding and shouting and calling and knocking. They peacefully slept through it all. And then the plumber came to look for the problem, and um, there was no problem. The only problem was that the neighbor accidentally left the shower on for about 5-6 hours, and it was pointed not in the bath, because if the water goes in the bath, baths is like a failsafe. If the water goes too full, it just like drains away through a hole in the top. But it wasn't in the bed. The shower head was actually on the floor, so the water would go on the whole floor, and then of course it would go through their floor and into my ceiling, and then blah 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 blah. Yes. So all the plumber had to do was turn off the shower. Ooh. Unfortunate. Unfortunately, I am not insured for water damage because I did not expect that I needed that, being on the second floor of an apartment well above sea level. There are many questions. There are a few questions. Um, like, how do you forget to? In fact, I didn't even forget to turn off the shower. They said, their words, I didn't even take a shower today. It must have turned on its own. Unfortunate timing. Yeah, it's like volcano. You don't expect a volcano when there is no volcano, you know? Um, oof. So as soon as the water was turned off, it started slowing down. Um, like previously, it was gushing down about an half an hour after they turned off the shower. It was just like dripping down. It was just like blip, 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 blip. And so I still needed like towels and pots and pans and stuff. It wasn't like fixed yet, but it had slowed down drastically. It continued dripping throughout the night, so I actually had to sleep in the living room because the bedroom was not sleepable. Sleepable? Couldn't sleep in the bedroom because it was like dripping all over the place. Um, but the bedroom was fine. The dripping continued for a few more hours, and then the next morning the dripping had pretty much stopped. The only problem was the massive flooding damage. Well, oh Skull, if only that was allowed. If only. I I am flabbergasted too. That is some incredible, beautiful sleep that they're having. I want to have what they had. In fact, I don't because holy popsicles. There is sleep, and then there is like being knocked unconscious. It must have been like some kind of vampire monster. I don't even know. Oh, Kent, I think you cracked the case. I think that's exactly what happened. Someone must have broken into their house while they were sleeping, turned on the shower, pointed at the floor, and then ran away, forgetting to turn off the light and like leaving behind like no signs of breaking in, of course. They like opened the window and then like shut it closed again as well after the fact. Very nice. Or it was or it was just a shower ghost. It's a prank, bro. Rooting poltergeists. Luckily, I didn't get electrofuzzled. I got wet, but that's okay. I can deal with that. Um, Damage assessment. It is not actually that bad, because it was only in the bedroom, the bathroom, the hall, and the kitchen, and there are no expensive electrical equipment there. So, um, the shower broke, but that one is it was fixed just today. A plumber electrician person came to fix the shower. Um, the light broke, but that's also fixed by now. The toilet is still wonky. Someone is I don't even know why the toilet is wonky. I don't even know how that's related, but it's wonky. Um, and someone is coming over to fix that. I think on Wednesday. Um, then uh, the carpets and the wallpaper is very messed up. But well, I'm not insured, so all I can do is try to clean it as best as I can. Um, the carpets, I'm trying all sorts of home remedies to try and suck out the liquid and like get rid of the smell and all that stuff. Um, oh, Weeby, fruit's sake. I knew it was you. I knew it. The carpet, it's a bit messed up, but it's like it doesn't matter too much. Like it just means that it's not very aesthetically pleasing. But I plan to move out anyway in like the next year or so, so it shouldn't matter too much because that wallpaper is going to get removed anyway when I move out. What else? Obviously all the towels, clothes, and stuff are drenched and very smelly. So over the past couple of days, I've just been cranking through washing after washing after washing. Uh, Lots of washings and drying and sorting I've been doing. Luckily, I think that's it. It was like there was water that fell onto like my cosplay and the storage cupboards and the bed. but almost all of it we were able to intercept, so that it wouldn't damage anything. So all in all, it's kind of okay. It's now 3 days later, and it's almost back to normal. Almost. Carpets. Oh, I said the wrong word. I mean, carpet floor. Carpet floor. So, uh, unfortunately, I cannot hang them up or anything because it's literally the floor. Um, but I do have a whole bunch of like I looked it up on the internet, and as we know, the internet is very wise and always speaks the truth. So, if I follow all their steps exactly, I'll be sure to fix the problem and be safe. I think. Um, yes. So yeah, work in progress. I think the for some reason the bedroom carpet is struggling the most. I think it's because it's like a different kind of carpet. Um, Everything else is doing quite well. Toilet pipes are connected to the same water line. Oh, maybe that's why then. Maybe it got like over flooded or something because the toilet is leaking now. Don't worry, the cosplay was saved thanks to quick interventions of pots and pans and towels and stuff. The cosplay is saved, I think. Um, no accountability, no, not really, because I'm not insured. But it's okay. It was it was a very hectic night. It was so weird sleeping in the living room. Jeez. Um, I went for a dog walk at like 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. with a slice of pizza in my hand. It was weird. And then of course, I was quite busy fixing all the washings and stuff. But it's just about done now. So, whoo, there's there's another story for you guys. 4 stories for you. Yeah, adrenaline. Adrenaline is pretty bug. I love it. Although I prefer to obtain it in other ways, but that works, I guess. Oof. That was 4 stories for you. It was the cigarette, the bus, the homeless guy, and the flooding. 4 stories. Wow, what a meta Monday for you. There you go. There you go. So how was your weekend? Um, if for some reason this makes it onto YouTube, which I'm not even sure if it will, then thank you for sticking with me for the entire story. Um, every Monday we do crazy stories like these, and usually they're real. So feel free to come join us on Twitch and stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye. I'm getting better at these.